Hi, everyone. Today, I want to share my part two of my ad- addiction to porn. So, last time I shared my experiences from 12 years old to about my mission, 20 years old. When I came back from my mission, I have so I on my mission I had to come home early from my mission. Uh, I have I have schizophrenia, so when I was on my mission, it came in full force. I tried to be perfect too much, and I gave myself a lot of anxiety and depression, and that really heightened my schizophrenia to actually come out. So, so I came home early, and for the next 5 years, it was really bad. My schizophrenia was really bad. I had voices telling me to kill myself. I had voices, it was do really bad things to myself, and I was able to control it to the point where I never um, attempted suicide, but I did contemplate it, and all that pain and suffering led me to look at porn, and so for the next 5 years, I had a huge addiction to porn. I was looking at it constantly. The pain and suffering from um, it relieved that pain, and just not, the feeling of the dopamine, just it just took the pain away. And but after I was done, I was realizing that there was I shouldn't be doing probably shouldn't be doing this. I had more guilt and more shame from looking at it, and during this time, so all that all that guilt and shame, I didn't really do anything about it because of that. Even though I had that guilt, I repented of it, of looking at it, and it got to the point where I truly didn't look for any action to get rid of it. I just I just felt that I can do on my own. I can get through this and get through it on my own. And I was told, that talk to someone, give it, and talk to the Lord about it. I said, I said repentance prayers and stuff like that, but and so I believed that I was getting better that way. That I was still, you know, my that still wasn't an addiction because I was still close to the Lord. I still felt the Spirit. I believe it. I believe I still felt the Spirit on, maybe not strongly, not constantly, of course, but I still felt the Spirit. I think because of of the person I am. I'll still be doing, still being kind, still helping the people out, and I feel like that was the Lord telling me that I'm still, doing the right thing and still trying. Um, Throughout my life, I found that trying still, um, has still has still the Lord still with you. Yeah, He's always with you actually. But at about 26 years old, I had an awesome experience with my mental health, and that really changed things around. I mean, my addiction was still there from 26 till years old till 30 years old, but it wasn't as it it got to the point where I tried to do things about it and try to get rid of it more. So, so at 25 years old, I had a great experience with my mental health. I went to a family reunion, and I've been praying for long. I was praying for a long time about a healing in my mental health to become stable in my mental health. This experience is also shared in my experience with schizophrenia on YouTube too. But I'll share it again, just so you get the background of how this helped my recovery and my addiction. So we were at a family reunion, and I knew that it was especially for my grandmother. So it was a birthday party for her, and I knew that angels existed. That we have angels on the other side. I knew that our deceased ancestors are our angels, not were, are our angels, and they help us. I knew that, but I didn't have like a full testimony of it. So um, like I said, I've been praying for a long time for the schizophrenia just to go away. And so one night, on the last day of the family reunion, I decided to pray again for recovery, to get rid of my schizophrenia. And I had a great feeling come over me, like a peaceful feeling. And I saw two angels, and one of them was my deceased grandpa, and he told me he was the first one that told me that I would one day gain stability in my mental illness. I went fully get rid of it, but with patience and time, I would one day gain stability. And then I had that same confidence that was told me by my deceased sister. Both my both these angels, my deceased grandpa, he died when I was about 5.5 years old, 6 years old. My deceased sister, she died before I was born, about three or 4 years before I was born. So I think it's about 3 years, maybe 3.5. But yeah, so these two angels have actually been a part of my life throughout a lot of my life, and since then. And it was true what they said, because about 10 years later, I did gain stability in my mental illness. Those times, of course, where I still heard voices, still had paranoia. I mean, that's the thing, is that it didn't fully go away, but it gave me that stability and be able to function. And then in 2020, I was able to gain like very, very frequent less symptoms. I had my best year of schizophrenia that year. So that year was a pivotal point in my recovery from my addiction. So just to make things a little bit short here, those 10 years, I kind of worked on my recovery from my addiction. I prayed a lot more. When I did it, I asked for repentance more. I was still reading my scriptures. So I was still doing the right things other than getting rid of my addiction totally and trying to do something about my addiction. So that occurred all the way until I was 40 years old. In 2020, I actually did something about it. So I will finish that part 3 about how I really started working on my addiction, like actually doing something about it and getting rid of it. Um, I like to say that um, I've been off porn for actually a long time. As far as soft porn, since December, but October, since the harder porn, it's been since the beginning of October of last year. So I will tell you how I got to that point um, in part 3. I'm actually going to do it tomorrow because I just don't think I want to wait till uh, next Saturday for you to hear that part. So I'll find a time tomorrow to share that with you guys on YouTube. Okay, well, that's it for now. See you later, okay? Bye-bye.